All right, guys, this is going to be a monster video. It's just going to be a lot of Season 6 talk, talking about what I've noticed about Season 6 and the preseason, what I expect this season. We're going to be talking about the first patch notes. But before I do all that, I just want to extend the invite one more time for the people that wanted to play with me this season. Dynamic Q, again, last chance. I'm looking for Diamond 1, players that have peaked in Diamond 1 or higher that are looking to play with somebody who's serious and trying to push on to Challenger to be at the top of the leaderboards this season. All you have to, this isn't Rain Man shit, okay? I need you to be good, and I need you to be dedicated, and I need you to be on top of your shit. If you want to play with me, I'm on every day, 9 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm looking for players. I have a big enough YouTube channel where I realize I can kind of cheat and find friends that way. So if you like me, you want to play with me, and you're good enough to hang, hit me up. I'm probably going to be playing mid and jungle this season. If you play one of those roles or you play the other roles or whatever, just hit me up. And if you're good, I will probably play with you. And if you're looking to play steady, I'm down for that. Now, oh, and you can send it to Nisi at Gmail, my Twitter, Twitch, whatever. Just hit me up, spam me a little bit, make sure I get your message. And if you're the real deal, I'll take you seriously. Now, let's talk about the new season, Season 6. A lot of people are excited for it. The patch notes 6.1 were leaked, and this video should be everything you need to know about Season 6. It's going to be long, but I think it'll be worth it. I know that long videos kind of suck to digest, and that's why I've been editing a little bit more. But trust me on this one. You want to hear what I have to say because I've put a lot of time in. I've been playing at a D1 level the past week or so, playing with D1 and Masters guys pretty much all this week and a little bit of last week. So, first things first, new champ select comes out tomorrow, which basically means it's going to roll out NA first and Turkey first. Those servers, don't know why Turkey gets a special privilege there. It's weird. What's going to allow you to do is allow you to come in ranked with 2 or more, up to 5 people now. You're also going to be able to select your roles that you get to play, 2 roles or fill. You're going to basically, one-trick ponies, this is like heaven for one-trick ponies. And the people that want to play like, limited champ pools or whatever, it's going to be great. It's going to reduce the amount of trolls in your games. It's a great change. I know people have their disagreements with it. I think it's great personally. I'm excited to see it. You're going to be able to get the roles in the champs that you want very often, which is really fun. The only downside, the queue times might be longer. Now, let's go into these notes, and as we're going over champs, I'm going to be talking about this season. First off, Season 6, snowbally as fuck. The towers fall down faster. Shutdown gold gets distributed across the team. So while you get a lead, if you die with a big lead, a lot of gold gets funneled back to your opponents. But overall, I think this season is about snowballing. You're going to see more ignites in lanes. You're going to be rewarded for playing aggressively more, which I'm personally excited about. Game times are much shorter. They're much shorter in Season 6. The only time that you're justified in playing something that's late game is something that's super hyper carry late game. If you have a weak laner who doesn't scale particularly well and you're doing it just because you don't know what else to do, you're going to get run over by aggressive lanes. Lanes like Zed, lanes like LeBlanc, lanes like Jace, lanes like Renekton, those types of lanes, whether it is mid or top, it doesn't matter. Aggressive lanes are going to be the key. They're going to be the key. You get early game advantage, you run over the mid game, and then by late game, you're just too huge to stop. That is the summary of Season 6, okay? That is how the game plays, how it feels, the speed. Just get that in your mind going forward, okay? So that's why a lot of these nerfs that are coming, we're going to talk about the champions, then some of the masteries, and then go from there. So opening up with Bard, Bard meeps now additionally hit at 150 radius around the primary target. Once Bard unlocks the cone attack meep upgrade. This is just a Bard quality of life buff. Bard is already pretty strong. So this buff to me is a little weird. He's actually very, very strong in the current meta as a support. As long as the guy playing him rocks Thunderlord's mastery. And we'll get to that later. But as long as you run Thunderlord's mastery on Bard and you play aggressive, you can win a lot of lanes. Brand, he was already nerfed. He's pretty much where he is right now. He was very, very strong in the opening preseason. Currently unchanged, very, very strong, aggressive support and mid laner. And if you can play a good Brand, you're gonna get rewarded this season. Okay, Caitlyn, less weirdness around headshot. looks like just bug changes or whatever. Caitlyn is not that strong right now. I'm not quite, well, actually, I know why it is. Because many people that play Caitlyn don't abuse her lane phase well enough to transition her through her mid game. Basically, Caitlyn has a very, very weak mid game, and normally Caitlyn players mitigate that weakness by pushing turrets really fast and trying to just stay in the lane, push turrets, so they don't have to ever fight, and then, you know, hopefully survive to late game is what they try to do. Or if they snowball, they get to the late game items earlier. That's great. Generally speaking, though, Caitlyn's really, really weak mid game. Tanks are really, really strong right now. Armor is really, really strong right now. I didn't really talk about that. I know I talked about snowballing. Armor in general, Malphite, Shen, Rammus, Trundle, Mundo. Those champions are all very, very strong right now. Armor is very, very strong right now. And we'll get to the items or the buffs and changes down the line. But currently, ADCs and mids are having a hard time wearing down a lot of the tanks. Tanks are banned a lot right now in ranked, by the way, just to be clear. Even though it is a snowball meta, tanks are banned a lot. Fiddlesticks. This is a small Fiddlesticks buff. Dark Wind cost down a little bit, helping our boy Fiddle out. Hasn't been being played much in ranked. Gangplank. This nerf is a long time coming. I know I spam Gangplanked a lot in the end of last season and preseason 6. It's probably why I'm sitting at like Diamond 1 MMR right now, or Masters MMR right now. Gangplank is pretty strong, so they're reducing his attack damage or his bonus AD. And they're also changing his passive to have the same damage but tick longer, so there's more counterplay, more time to react to the damage. This is an unfortunate nerf to Gangplank. The meta isn't very good for him either, so I do think that, you know, this might kick him out. This might kick him out of favor. He's already pretty hard to get through the lane phase. I get first blooded and killed all the time in lane as Gangplank. But he still scales extremely well. If teams don't put games away, Gangplank can pick up some kills, nice ulties, and be super huge late game. And then he can carry that way. But it is harder when the games are much shorter. Jinx bug fixes. Looks like... Let's see. Refund on multi-kill, 30 mana. So... It looks like this is sort of a Kalista nerf. Kalista is a champion that snowballs very, very hard. Obviously, snowball meta. She's gonna, once she gets a lead, she's way more likely to win the game. Kalista has always been a champ in solo queue that a lot of the pros run when they're trying to climb very, very fast. A very, very mobile champ that, like I said, once he gets a lead, is going to run the game over, very much like a Vayne. So this nerf is probably targeting her strengths right now in solo queue. Just a slight nerf to how oppressive her lane phase can be. Kha'Zix, passive attack comes out faster. W's explosive radius is up. E range up. Kha'Zix buffs are good. He's one of the weakest assassins in the game right now. He's basically a gutted Rengar. He doesn't do anything as well as Rengar does. So this buff is going to try to put him back into favor. Basically, I roll my eyes right now whenever I see a Kha'Zix jungle. Maybe this will help that. Because he was really weak. LeBlanc E and Mimic E's missile speed up, flashy and tricky. Successive nerfs to LeBlanc have made her feeling less than responsive recently. LeBlanc buffs are going to be pretty huge. She's going to be played a lot, I think. I foresee LeBlanc being a go-to pick right now in this meta. Thunderlords is nutso with aggressive lanes, and this is going to make LeBlanc even more crazy. She's already pretty good if you play her well. A lot of good elo boosters will run a LeBlanc mid constantly in this meta. It makes sense. Misfortune nerfs. This was long overdue, I think. Misfortune has been running over the bot lane. Highest win rate champion, I think, in solo queue right now, if not one of the top 8. And it's mainly because her lane phase is insanely oppressive. She already trades about as well as Draven does in lane, and then add to the Make It Rain was allowing Thunderlords to proc every time she used it, and was a pretty oppressive slow. So basically made Misfortune impossible to ever go in on. And she won most every lane that she was in. No escapes, though, and I did see late game, a lot of Misfortune struggle to team fight after they win lane. They don't know where to position or how to position without an escape, and that gets them killed a lot. Looks like Mordekaiser is getting a buff, so maybe he'll actually be played again. This is a hard one to... Mordekaiser's a champ, in my opinion, that Riot will never truly be able to balance properly. Kind of the same as Darius, kind of the same as Garen. It's just sad that champions like this exists because they're either going to be playable or they're not, unfortunately. Either Mordekaiser's shield is big enough to get him leads and lanes often and then let him keep his lead, or he's going to be getting one shot like in that video, that highlight that I did, the Almost Challenger highlights, I think it was, or the one before that. I think it was the Almost Challenger highlights where I literally just one shot a Mordekaiser behind his turret before he got back to turret. Once Mordekaiser falls behind, he's useless. If he's ahead, he's a god. There's really, and it's very, very easy to fall behind his Mordekaiser when you're such a predictable champ. So I think it's very, very tough to balance him accordingly. Riven, another patch, Riven buff. Runic Blade ratio, attack damage. Looks like a buff to Riven. She doesn't need this, in my opinion, but there we go. We got to deal with Rivens in the top lane. We'll be strong as always, I'm sure. She was already strong. The good Riven players can make her really, really strong. But whatever. I don't have much to say about this. This is annoying to see how often they change Riven before other things get changed, but whatever. I'm not going to go there. I don't main Riven. It's none of my business, I guess. Q range and tick rate increase. So Rumble has been really, really... Rumble has had a hard time because... For those who don't know, before Season 6 started, we got these weird minion changes that we're bumping into minions all the time now. Rumble is like the worst at laning because of this. His win rate actually plummeted. Rumble was one of the top win rate champs in the game. His win rate just fucking... It tanked because a lot of the minion block bullshit got in his way. And he doesn't really synergize with, like, the masteries that well as opposed to some of the other laners, and he's just been having a rough time, so I could see why they're doing this. This is going to be nice to probably put Rumble back in his place where he needs to be in the top lane. I was kind of happy to see him not as dominant, but I guess he's going to be back based off that. Smaller collision radius means he doesn't bump into shit as often. Flame spitter range means that he can bully you out of lane just like he used to again, which is fucking annoying. And the tick rate is a lot faster. Teemo buffs. I don't even want to look at that shit. It's just, why do we want that champion to be competitive? I have no idea. It's going to be so frustrating to play against that. Trundle has been almost in permaban status right now because people are realizing just how strong he is in support and top and jungle. His pillar was like it was like an AoE Nasus Wither. Now they've made it so he can't split push as fast. Pillar Vice costs more, and the ult costs more and has a higher cooldown. So this is a big nerf. This hurts Trundle quite a bit. I don't know what that means for him quite yet because I don't play him, but I definitely feel like inexperienced Trundles are going to have a hard time managing the mana costs effectively. Also, the split pushing thing was annoying as fuck to see how fast he could shred those turrets. At least Repel won't randomly drop you on enemies you didn't want to land on. Fix a bug, at least drop an air by enemy when casting self-repel. Cool. Poppy, quality of life changes. Thresh souls are more likely to do what you think they'll do. Yasuo wind wall works. Okay. Yeah, Yasuo gold cards. Gold cards from TF are going through Yasuo wind wall. Fix the bug. Nothing changed on Urgot really. Too bright, stone good. Fix the bug. Heimerdinger grenade was too much vision for the duration. Cool. Minions, bug fixes wacky behavior. Minions no longer freeze. Yeah, my minions would go on strike in lane. I don't know if you guys have seen that in the preseason, but it was hilarious. Minions now display how much bonus damage or damage reduction they have pushing. Okay, cool. This is some awkward minion change. I don't even quite understand this quite yet, but basically Riot's implemented this nonsense that the information that you can't use about the minions based on what's happening around the map. It was a really stupid change. Friends and I have talked about it. I don't really like it, but whatever. Minions no longer acquire new targets that are in the river jungle, and if they enter the river jungle, they'll refuse to acquire any target until they leave. Cool. Let's talk about the jungle enchantment. Runic Echoes. Runic Echoes cheaper Luden's Echo for junglers. New item. While it has less ability power-based damage, it restores a large portion of your missing mana on hitting a large monster in addition to dealing bonus damage. It's context time. This season, we can take more future-facing look at Runeglaive. The introduction of Hunter's Talisman maybe solidify spellcast core part of AP Jungle's rotation, so it makes more sense. Runic Echoes is an extension of that. This is long, so I'm not going to read all of it. So, interesting. A jungle Luden's Echoes. I have to check that out when the patch is released. Smite no longer triggers spell effects. Smite's been through an interesting transformation. Turned into a multi-charge, multi-augmented ability, tons of utility. While Smite slowly crept up in strength, it was the introduction of Runic Echo's interaction with Smite, where we finally need to draw a line. Having an instant high-damage nuke is probably not one of the best interests. Okay, cool. No longer triggers spell effects. Oh, okay. So that's why a lot of people are using Spell Vamp in the jungle. Got it. That won't be as common anymore, I don't think. Tier 2 items cost down. Cool, I guess. Rift Herald damage down. Yeah, Rift Herald was pretty... See, the problem with Rift Herald, for those who don't know, we have this new camp now in the upper portions of Summoner's Rift, which is like a giant scuttle crab thing that allows you to push down turrets. The problem with taking it right now is people want to take it, but most two groups, like top and jungle, the ones that wind up taking it, most of the time you're going to lose your entire HP bar, and only one of you are going to be able to back after taking it. So they do need to reduce the damage because right now it's too risky to take, I think. Razor Sharp Raptor buff. Raptor's vision buff is more forgiving. Cool. That was annoying to try to de-ward stuff after you have that buff. Warding Totem cooldown lowered to 120. Nice. More wards. That's what I like to see, baby. False Sight alteration. Farsight's dominance tends to warp the strategic game, putting more weight on its spot use. It's an in-fight or pre-fight reveal, but offering very little in the way of long-term vision to control objectives. Farsight's effects. Active cooldown is up. And yes, Blue Trinket was the way to go at like mid to late game because you could just drop that wherever you needed to and you didn't have to be in range to use it, which is pretty nice. I hope they... I still think it's a little strong based off what I'm reading here, but whatever. Can drink elixirs while you're dead. Very usable. That's a quality of life change just for players that, you know, have to quickly speed by like 9 things to defend their base. That's nice. Eye of the Osiris. Honestly, I know nothing about this item. I know nothing about those 2 items. I don't play support like ever right now. I have no fucking idea about these. If I could recommend a support, Painless, Liquid Painless, sub for Team Liquid, seems like a nice guy. Met him at Summoner's Con. He'd probably tell you more about this shit. My understanding is when I met him at Summoner's Con, I don't even think he was using this shit yet. Because I think Frost Queen's claim was so dominant. So, for those who don't know or haven't been following this season, Frost Queen's claim has been being used by all APs right now because it was broken. The issue was that right now mid laners can take this item, get mana regen, get AP, and then have these little ghosts on a low cooldown. I don't actually think this nerf is big enough to stop the item yet. I still think it's going to be strong. I still think it's going to be a good item, and I think there needs to be more done to it. We're going to see what happens with this, but the issue is AP mids go, I have an AP item with regen that slows and sets up for all-ins. Perfect example of that would be Morgana mid, Syndra mid, Ahri mid. Any mid laner that wants to be aggressive would be able to fucking do it because they would just pop the little ghost, the ghost chase people down and then do a big slow, and then there you go. You got an easy engage. Very, very easy engage. Too easy. Slow duration now scales between 2 and 5 seconds, depends on distance traveled. This item's still too good, I think. Sunfire now offers more armor because Sunfire isn't being used as much. Ginzu is a strong AP and AD item that's now actually viable on champions like Jax and Aurelia. Bug fixes. Phantom Dancer, move speed up, but move speed near enemies down. This is it was a very, very strong item for any attack speed carries. Actually, I was rocking this on Tryndamere right away because it's so good. It also allows you to walk through minions, which means that your turret dives don't just get denied. So people that love my Tryndamere game, I haven't been playing Tryndamere a lot. I don't think he's very strong, but this is an item for that, basically. Allows you to get away with being Tryndamere. But then there's the Static Shiv buff. So maybe Static Shiv is the way to go with Tryndamere again. But you'll still get blocked by minions, which is annoying as fuck. Runen's Hurricane, more movement speed. This is all AD-centric changes because right now, Rapid Fire Cannon was pretty fucking strong in general. As you can see, the move speed is getting nerfed and the other items are getting buffed. Riot's been doing a very interesting thing, by the way, before we keep going, about buffing and nerfing things, where instead of just nerfing everything, they're taking the approach of trying to buff other things, which keeps the game a lot of fun, in my opinion, and I'm really happy that they're doing that. Really appreciate that. It's more of a Dota approach, which is good because right now the skill ceiling needs to be kept as high as it possibly can in League, otherwise it stays boring. That's why I'm excited about this season. It's a fun season. Snowball keeps the game short. When you're getting wrecked, the games are shorter, and that's just it's a better experience. It doesn't keep you as pissed off, I think, when you get beat that way. Last Whispers upgrades. This is a armor pen upgrade for Lord Dominic's Regards. Currently, like I said, tanks are strong, so these buffs are to try to give ADs a chance to hang with tanks. Tiamat cost down. Total cost to Tiamat down and Ravenous Hydra's down a little bit, which is cool because I use Titanic a lot in my builds nowadays. I just love the auto attack reset. If you can get a good auto attack reset in, you could be a beast. Death's Dance damage is up a little bit. This is because a lot of mids, even Zed, Jace, I'm trying to think, like Pantheon, no one was touching this shit yet. They were using like Ghostblade and Ghostblade pretty much. Everyone was rushing Ghostblade. So it's going to give this Death's Dance an option to be used, I think. Because right now it's not a very attractive option quite yet. So, now this is where we're talking about masteries. For those who haven't been following the masteries, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Season 6 masteries on the side here. Season 6 masteries, League of Legends. So, in a nutshell, the way that the masteries have been right now, this tree here... Wait, this is old. Oh my god, I hate you, Google. There we go. I think I got it. All right. So, this season right here has basically been the battle of the Thunderlords. Thunderlords being the strongest mastery. What this allows you, every third attack after like 10 seconds procs extra damage. Everyone has been running Thunderlords in their lanes because it helps me win lanes, and this is snowball meta. Currently, what Riot's deciding to do is leave Thunderlords where it's at and buff all the other shit and try to keep it up to snuff. Very excited about this approach. I think it keeps the games, like I said, more fun and lively, and you feel powerful. I think making people feel powerful and feel like they can control the game is a healthy thing. So, as such, we're going to go over the masteries. This is, again, Riot trying to buff other masteries to keep up with Thunderlords because it is so dominant. Heal on critical strikes, now 15% of the damage dealt. Up from 5 to 25% of the damage dealt. Attack speed is now up to 30. Less healing early, but more early later. Attack speed up. So, Tryndamere might actually be usable again, which is nice. I'm excited to try this. Fervor battle damage on hit increase, stacks decrease. Damage on hit 1 to 4. Maximum stacks 8. Fervor of Battle, by the way, only works on champions. Same with Warlord's Bloodlust. Deathfire Touch. Ability power and attack damage ratios increased. Attack damage ratios on Deathfire Touch increased. So that's more damage from that. And just to be clear, these are in this tree here. So Warlords, Fervor, and then Deathfire Touch. And no one, like I said, barely anybody's using this tree right now because everybody's using Thunderlords. Storm Raider Surge, more speed, slow resistance. Precision Armor Pen down. I believe Precision, again, was in the... I believe it was in the Cutting Tree. So, indirect nerfs to that tree, I believe. Strength of the Ages restores 6% of your maximum health. Very, very cool. This is for right now. Same rules apply pretty much for tanks. The grasping touch, notice that's not really commented on here. Grasping touch, I believe, is the go-to item on tanks right now. Similar concept, trying to get the other masteries up to snuff. So Bond of Stone and Strength of the Ages are buffed. And then nobody cares about Howling Abyss because I just want the old 3s back. And now Tenacity reduces the duration of disarms. So, in summary, that is Season 6. Okay, that is Season 6. The games are shorter. They snowball harder. Currently, Thunderlords was super strong, but as you can see, there's a lot of new things to play with as the season starts. Remember, lanes that you should be playing are lanes that can win lane on their own, because if you win lane, you have a better chance of winning the game now, for sure. Weaker lanes that don't have a very, very strong late game aren't going to be smart. They're not going to be good choices. Junglers that are very, very passive, probably not going to be a good choice most of the time. Grab the game by the balls, play aggressively, run Ignite in your lanes, run Exhaust in your lanes, and have fun with the game again. It is Season 6. Again, before I go, please subscribe, obviously. If you like, or if you want a game with me, if you think that it would be cool and you're Diamond 1 or better, if you've peaked at Diamond 1 or better, just hit me up, Twitter, Gmail, Twitch, whatever. If you want to play, I'm down, and I'm going to be pushing for Challenger this season, and I'm super stoked about that. So let me know what you guys think about this little rundown in the comments. If you thought it was useful, if you thought it was trash, just let me know. I love all of you guys. Please check out the stream if you can. Like, subscribe, all the social media bullshit that keeps me afloat. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And, yeah. Peace, crackers.